Okay, we're back at the cabin doing a little backwoods math. You can see I've got this joist circuit laid out. I'll be doing 2x6s, but it's level, and I was just trying to get a fit for when I walk through what's 7 feet look like. So the bottom of the joist here is 7 feet, plenty of room, and this is about as far out as it would stick in the cabin. So all this space up until it will be vaulted ceilings, and then this would be the height almost that you climb into the loft in. And so this little extension up is 3 feet, so you have about a 3-foot little kicker dormer type window thing, little steeper roof that matches the pitch of the ridge board here, and you've got about 6 feet in because it's going to overhang onto that deck. So to get about 7 feet, I just said, well, I've got 3 inches of a top plate and bottom plate plus another 1.5. I'll put a second top plate up on this wall. That gives me 7 minus that is 6 foot 7.5 inch studs. Corner to corner fitting in here is going to be fun to wiggle it in there, but that's going to be 14-foot top and bottom plates. And here's how I laid it out. Remember, you walk into the sliding glass doors, turn left, and this will be the kitchen. Right here will be the bathroom, so about a 4-foot by 4-foot. That'll support the very edge of the loft, at least to some degree. And when you turn and go up to your sink, I presume, I have a window looking out. And I did a 4-foot wide window, 2-foot tall, so it'll be at about my head height, like very clear of countertop height. And there will be one post in the middle, one post on the other end. So I want that window to be at least relatively centered, so when you're looking out, you're not just staring out at this post right in the middle. So I chose 2 feet in off the end. 4-foot window gets us to shy of that 7-foot mark. And so here's how I laid it out. Got my corner studs, a California corner, which I'll raise, so when I lift this up, swing it around and bring it back, it'll be pressed against this guy, so I can marry into it like crazy. Full-size stud, again, that super short stud, 6 foot something. Then I'll have a king stud. This is a pretty big window, so I want to have a header that's actually supported, like a header cripple or whatever. I'm calling these window cripples. That'll go to the bottom of the sill plate. My window is going to be 4 foot long, so all of these are just little cuts to whatever we figure out the windowsill height should be. Again, header supported and king stud, and then studs all the way along up through the bathroom side, and another California corner that's raised, and my end studs so that I can marry them in really well to these corners. And I think it'll be pretty dang solid. Get the handsaw out and see if we can shape this up. I've got about another hour and a half till I have to be in my car and going to find some service so I can join my meeting for work. So let's see how it goes. So a little bit of backwoods ingenuity. Since this is a tiny little wall, the header is kind of up close to the top of my window, and I didn't quite have the 2x6 to finish it, so I did 2x4s, actual header style, just laminated 2 top sills and used my header cripple to get all those. So it's pretty heavy, pretty solid, and looking good. Like I said, pretty heavy, so I have a little bit of battery left on this thing. We'll see if we can struggle this thing up and get it into position. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Looks like a pretty good layout to me. So we'll tack that guy in. Do everything we got to do. I framed that up sideways, knowing that my dimension was longer here. Got it and had to spin it like that, which is kind of ridiculous because one end is super heavy. It was able to pivot pretty good actually. So let's walk you into this thing. Yeah, super full of windows, which I think I'm gonna like. It's gonna be pretty cool. Again, this will be the bottom or so of the rafter height, joist height of the loft. So you'll be crawling into a space that's about that big and about 5 feet up from that at the apex of the roof. So walking into here, pretty cozy little kitchen area. Good window that it's mostly greenery, and it's starting to rain, so couldn't be better timing. We'll kind of tack this thing in real good and work on a couple other projects, maybe under the tarp if I can throw that. Yeah, super full of windows, which I think I'm gonna like. It's gonna be pretty cool. Again, this will be the bottom or so of the rafter height, joist height of the loft. So you'll be crawling into a space that's about that big and about 5 feet up from that at the apex of the roof. So walking into here, pretty cozy little kitchen area. Good window that it's mostly greenery, and it's starting to rain, so couldn't be better timing. We'll kind of tack this thing in real good and work on a couple other projects, maybe under the tarp if I can throw that on top. Yeah, 4 walls. Woohoo, boy, that was some sketchy sketch. Just made another trip down the river and got what's going to be my ridge board, 2x8x20, my joists in the loft, 3 4x4 pressure treated, 8 feet, but I'll cut them to whatever, to support the loft overhang, and 1 little pressure treated joist for the outside one. I don't know, that maybe I'll see some weather. And I was determined to get it in today. I'm kind of fighting the weather. It's nice right now, actually. I'm still sweating, probably just because I'm nervous. It rained a little bit while I was loading it up and stuff, but I think I spored this mattress away last time, and the last time I was in my little $20 Walmart raft, it sprung a leak and soaked my leg. So I found it, and I didn't have any duct tape, but what I did have is bandage tape that I've been throwing on my ankles from the last time I had to jump in the river ankle deep and pull it in. It was soaked. I got all these blisters, and I found it on both sides. Look at that, still there. So it was on the seam, so I figured, at least I won't sink in that. But I blew this guy up, and it was barely holding. I went to put, I was like, oh, no, I'm just gonna go fast. I won't film anything. Throw it in the water, I'll get down there. And as I was putting it by my face to set it in the water, I felt a little breeze of shooting up at me. So I threw some more of this bandage tape on there, and I kept watching back at it, seeing if it's gonna get wet, because this stuff gets wet, it just falls right off. And it actually held super well. And I made it with a hole in both rafts. Yeah. No bueno. Time to wise up. Get some new cheap $20 rafts and air mattresses for the next one. But this material should be enough, I'm hoping, to finish framing out what'll be the gable end sides and figure out that loft and everything. And frame in the gable windows with little dealies on top so I can have joist support and get that up there. And that's gonna rain for like a week straight, so I can get that up there and a tarp on it. I would be super excited. All right, let's get to it. Well. Mother Nature had it in. This tarp just got shredded last night. It wasn't even really that high winds, but it was windy. And yeah, supports blew over that were kind of holding this thing up. Janky anyway, that was always gonna rip through. It's dumb. This guy, man, that just shredded that thing. But look at all that water I kept off of there. Let's just hope that all my caulking and waterproofing and what have you is actually beneficial, and it's only gonna get more tonight. It's dry under here. Yeah, I got nothing else to try and cover it up with, so what are you gonna do? Hope we get some sunny days to burn it off after a week of rain. This could be one gigantic puddle. Yep, we'll see what we think of. Anyway, crisis. God damn. I thought raising walls was hard by myself. I haven't had to load stuff in from the river in a while, and those 2x6x16s are just so long and heavy, especially the pressure treated ones. Whew, it's giving me my workout, but got it all in there. Last thing left is this ridge beam, which is a 20-footer and 2x8. We'll just haul it in by hand. Retire the good old boys right here. But believe me, they're going into retirement. They're gonna stay here patched up, and I'll be drinking a beer on them in the sun, so they're gonna be living a good life, don't worry. Okay, perhaps this will help shed a little water, at least collect it in a way that isn't just dumping it all in the OSB. There should be enough surface area to collect some water, and I think I raised all the holes and whatever, so see if that works a little better. I put these little deck pieces on, 1, 2, 3 at the end, and the posts will run up to this guy, and I'm kind of making some weird double, triple top plate thing, setting the joists on top of it to go into the loft. So I'm imagining it. We'll see how it goes. Hike out of here before it's dark. Working on the gable ends, mainly the loft today. Floated in these posts and some treated wood for this deck portion. Just kind of getting the fitment sorted out. I'm kind of happy with how it's turning out. So these posts will rest on the rim on top of the deck, and they're going to go up to a 2x4. So I'll screw those guys in. And I've got the fitment so it overlaps with the first top plate of the wall. Ooh. And Jesus, overlaps with the first top plate of the wall. You can see that. So all of this upper level is going to be the same height. You can tell it looks out of level right here. This board's pushing it down, but I'll cut this post, push it up in there, and we should be nice and level. And then I'm going to use this 2x4 laid down just as a bottom plate to frame a little wall. You can see how high the loft is going to be. It's like a little over 2 feet. And I'm just cutting these bad boys by hand. So kind of get her lined up, squared off. Old Faithful's been doing it. Got the doggo out. Already snoozing. She ran like crazy getting in here. So this will all be the overhang. This will all be the bottom of the loft, and soften it out or something, just like the overhangs. And frame this little wall. Getting up there is going to be pretty precarious, and I'm doing it just standing up. So I'm going to do it all with screws and everything from down below and up top. And then I've got to try and frame out a little gable window dead center, and then a ridge support on top of that. So wish me luck, see how it goes. Yeah, pop that post in the corner. We're looking great. I think I'm gonna be happy with how this turns out. It's a little garage and like full-time wood storage. Boom, probably all the way up to the top over there. I off-centered this post in the end, so it lined up with a little support joist. Just felt right. And dead center, it was kind of like in the view of the window, and it made the window off center. So I'm actually super happy I pulled those apart. It's kind of asymmetric and cool looking. And yeah, super level. Very nice. So I'm going to try and hop up in this loft and just frame the back wall of it. I need to frame a gable window, and I think I'm going to set it just on that top sill. I'll do some quick measurements and make sure that's going to fit, but that would be super easy, and I think it would look better than below. I don't know, maybe we'll check it out. Because if I did do it, framed it up to the bottom of that, yeah, that is what I'll do. Frame a little 18-inch window, gable window up to the bottom of that. That would put the one on this side still a little ways off the top plate and in the gable. By the looks of it, by about less than a foot maybe. Yeah, we'll figure that out. Anyway, frame up this guy for a little bit, see how she goes. I'm gonna try and keep it 16 inches on center, and it's gonna be creative. It's not like
So we'll see how that lines up.
So we'll see how that lines up. Just measured out cripples, 16 on center from that side, and threw some up here as well. So I'll get out my square and mark them all up, see how it looks, and like I said, do some math on where we want this little gable window to pop up. I'd like them to be at the same heights, and I'd like it to not be too close down to that sill to look ridiculous. It's going to be a pretty steep slope on that side. But regardless of where it is, there'll be a window there, and I thought it looked pretty nice. Here, I guess I imagine you're kind of crawling in. This is the ceiling height on the far ends. In the middle, it'll be like 6 feet tall or something like that. So if I'm crouched like this, it'd be nice to look out a window, I suppose. So maybe it should be on the lower end. I don't know. We'll do some math, we'll figure it out.